What could you lock with a bike lock and cause the most chaos? Two other bikes together. People did that at my school all the time. Same here. A little shit I went to school with realized that most people remove their lock before noticing the other bike is a lock to theirs, and then they don't put their lock back on. So he would check back several times after school, and then would be able to steal the unlocked bike after he unlocked his. A Walmart after everyone goes inside on Black Friday. Or, a Walmart before everyone goes inside on Black Friday. In a car wheel. Extra points for taking off the hubcap, locking the rim to the frame, and then putting the hubcap back on so it can't be seen. No, go back where you came from, Satan. The only porta-potty at a super spicy chili festival. All the porta-potties at a music festival. Always bring a bike lock with you when you're out searching for your stolen bike. That way if you find it, you can prevent the thief from leaving before you get their lock off. My bike got stolen once and I was so upset. I had just brought it to the bike doctor and it was all fixed. And I borrowed my mom's bike because I still needed to go somewhere. And somehow I looked to the side at the right moment while biking and saw my bike standing next to a fence. And they hadn't even locked it. They had cut my lock and tied it around the fence so it would look as if it was a locked, but it wasn't actually. So I could just take it. I've never felt so ecstatic, man. I was walking with two bikes home and I was laughing like a maniac. People must have thought I was crazy, but it was just such an absurd thing. And my mom was so fucking confused when I came home with the bike that just had been stolen. I think that was legit one of the greatest feelings I've ever had. And bring a better lock than the one you used when your bike was first stolen. I used the lock to defeat the lock. This guy probably. Two people's ear gauges. I just vomited a little in my mouth at the thought of this. A bike lock factory door, one lock to lock them all. A bolt cutter's factory door. Now it will never be cut. My suggestion is locking it on a roller coaster's rail on the fastest part. Watch the people fly. Our unexpected psychopath. Never judge a user by their username. Put it on a main exit door and then set the fire alarm off. You'd be surprised how little people care when a fire alarm goes off while they shop. I was at a grocery store last week and the fire alarm went off. I was at the very back of the store and had just moved to this town, so it was my first time there. I kind of panicked trying to figure out if it's a real fire and where to exit. But everyone else just ignored it and kept shopping. Even when the firemen showed up, nobody cared. So insane to me. Fire drills have normalized fire alarms. The kid I babysit threw a tantrum during luncheon while I was eating with his siblings. He ran upstairs and locked the handle of two doors together so neither could be opened, thus preventing that no one could enter their room. It was the room with all the toys in it. I didn't realize what that meant for a moment while I was eating his siblings. Shopping cart to a car door handle. Now I know what to do next time someone parks like a cunt. Shopping cart to a Karen's car door handle. A cop's motorcycle. Someone else's kid. My school locked the boys' bathroom door with a bike lock because they were using it for drugs and vaping. This caused people to be late for class because the other boys' bathroom was at the other end of the school. As you can imagine, wait time to use the bathroom was also increased, which didn't help the situation whatsoever. Solution: shit on the floor. A surprisingly effective solution for many things. I wonder if anyone is looking through the comments for ways to cause chaos. Maybe I asked the question for a reason. Oh, watch out in the news, winking face. All I need now is 300 bike lock to carry out all the ideas. Get yourself a tuba or something. That's my chaotic outlet of choice. I play trombone, smiley face. A donut to a cop's car door handle. You could lock a rival meth dealer in your basement. I think that one ended in some chaos. Nothing a little chemistry couldn't solve. With the right container, of course. This is my greatest revenge story of how I used a bike lock to lock two car wheels together. I guess this fits here. Dude in high school thought it would be funny to take my laptop and smash it. Granted, I had already ordered a new one, but it really pissed me off. Few hours later, me and my pal on our off period decided to bike lock the dude's car wheels together. We did the front and back tires on the right side and then waited. When he tried to back out, it actually fucked the wheels up so bad he had to call a tow truck to get the car. How did you link the tires together with one lock? I actually used 3 public bathroom doors. Actually, at my old work we had a shed in back that was holding some more important things. I was the only one the 3 remembered the bike lock code. My supervisor, me, and another coworker, so would open it every morning, then have my coworker close it in the evening since he was usually evening shift and I was morning. Now at one point, they made the biggest mistake of their lives. Now for reference, my supervisor was like another mom to me and I was really close with my coworker. We both had mental health problems that we talked to each other about. So one day, they fire me for bullshit reasons. So I leave and let my coworker and supervisor know. Coworker then quits that night after locking the bike lock. Supervisor decides to take a week off suddenly due to health issues and turns off her phone. The next morning, they realize that oh shit, the shed is still locked. It takes them a week and they end up breaking the handles and having to get a new lock. Along with that, the shed held animal food that they needed. They had to buy the food at 50-pound bags for $60 each for the week. At least 2 per days. Note that I had nothing to do with this and coworker and supervisor knew that the animals would be fine. It was pretty much just chaos and an inconvenience for a week. According to another ex-coworker, they ran around like headless chickens for almost an hour before they actually had to go get the food and do things. Every hour she would see someone trying to open the shed. The entire week they didn't even think to text me or coworker and supervisor had no text waiting either. So, they're also just idiots. Edit. There's also another bike lock holding gate closed that is rarely used but is used occasionally for big things. I'm the only one who knows how to open and close it since it can be tricky. Can't wait to hear about that one. The doors to the flight control tower before shift starts at an airport that closes at night. Fire exits in a burning building. Good idea. Those seamstresses are probably stealing from you, Mr. Blank. And nobody is going to be sneaking into my nightclub without paying. It's like Triangle Shirtwaist all over again. Step siblings. Hey, what are you doing? Step bro. This is so wrong. The fridge. Airplanes have a slot on the yoke for a control lock to keep the surfaces fluttering around in the wind. Some people do not check this before takeoff. If you put a bike lock in there, you'd cause some chaos. Well, seeing as I have a bike lock and an opportunity to cause the most chaos, yes. Say part of an aeroplane's landing gear. That could be a good one, or try and lock an aileron with a blood-dripping meat piece and a note saying, "Not human, just pork, haha." Comedian Kellen Erskine has a bit about this. Find someone who has stretch in their ear. Find 2 cars parked close to each other and lock the doors together. It may take a massive amount of skill, but if you could pull it off. 2 people with big enough gauges. The beer fridge in an Irish bar. You're a cruel bastard. 2 random people's bikes. Reminded me of the time when my friend locked his bike in front of a building only to find out on his way out that someone used his lock to lock both of their bikes together. Put it around a man's ankles. Any kind of hacksaw or brute force would break his legs too. Quite a predicament. The doors of a PPE factory. I could literally kill someone with that. Help! Someone locked me to a pole with a bike lock. Yep. This is very dark and NSFW. But the school hall doors during a shooting. From the movie We Need to Talk About Kevin. Wouldn't that help the students depending where you lock it? How come? Is the shooter trapped inside the hall, or outside of it? And We Need to Talk About Kevin. The shooter, he used a bow and arrow, so archer would be a better word, stood in a loft area and shot down at the victims. So he was inside the hall. No one was able to stop them, so he was unharmed when they finally got the doors open. Edit. I also read a book about a school shooting where the students were locked in an auditorium with bike locks. The only open exit was directly behind the shooter, who had several automatic weapons and was able to stop anyone who tried to approach. Hi, Monsieur. Gun store. You, silly noodle 7 is trying to be a silly noodle. Choking infant. Yes, officer, this comment here. You can probably lock up multiple infants. You want maximum effect. Do you have a professional you talk to? You lock the infant to a bridge over a major arterial interstate just before rush hour. We once locked a port-a-potty at a well-known music festival with a combo lock. It lasted a day. They brought bolt cutters the next day. It was glorious. We had a private place that was clean to use the bathroom, monsieur. That is the most selfish, ingenious idea I've ever heard. Did a line of people who didn't know it was locked form. We'll come back once this is in front page. Welcome back. I live close to Jerusalem. A ladder. Bathroom at NFL game. Oh no. Choke Bill Gates to death with it. Dissolve his flesh, leaving just his bones and connective tissues. Maybe a couple eyes. Then use it to hang him from the roof of his family home. Make it obvious it was a murder, but take every possible precaution to leave no evidence. If it works properly, the entire world will feel the backlash for decades. Nuclear progression will slow to a snail's pace. Disease will run rampant throughout Africa. The terrorists reveling in successfully blocking polio vaccines. All of his future projects and solutions will disappear with him forever, leaving the world woeful for the coming future. And no one but me would know who to blame. You wank chaos. I'll bring you chaos. That's a little extra. A jet plane to an aircraft carrier. A bike lock, not a fucking something. All the defibrillators in the ER room, monsieur. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.